I pushed. All right.
Why?
I pushed
Why
it.
Why'd you? I'm over here having a belong, and you're pushing record.
It probably didn't come through, but hopefully it did because it makes a good intro. Just
No.
listen, you got
does
that
not make a
smoker's
good
lung or
intro.
something, you know? You just over here
I got
puffing and puffing.
this cough. This cough lasts forever. When I get it, it's months of coughage.
Months and
We
months.
just got done going. Well, we just got done going through a sinus infection. I did.
Mm-hmm.
And our whole family just got hit with the flu.
Oh,
smacked the lung.
And I'm well aware of it as someone who talks to you on a daily basis. How you doing? I feel like
Saturday and Sunday. Oh gosh,
feel like death.
Saturday was awful. I got out of bed like twice. I mean, I literally had no energy.
Yeah, no, and it's good to see you better. Good to hear you better again. I know you've been better for a couple of days, but you're hanging in there. And That's good. Good to see. Good to be talking football again. Welcome to the DukNilla NFL cast. I'm your host, Vanilla James, with my beautiful, spexy co-host, the man himself, the legend, the icon.
Come on now.
Olduk.
Don't make me blush. Don't make me blush.
Well, we got a lot to talk about. A lot of free agency news, all the good stuff. This is the time of the year that it's a restart. Your team could be the Lions, like mine. You could be like me and have the Lions. And even now, it feels. I'm excited. I'm excited again.
Yes, excited. I'm. It was cool to see. It's always a good moment in that time. Seeing the hype, seeing the changes, seeing what people are trying to do, for the good, for the bad, there's the ugly. There's a lot of all that happening, right? We're seeing a lot of it right now with a lot of different teams, and seeing some people retired and then unretire.
Yep.
Big names getting dropped.
We didn't talk about that. Well, Brady's back.
Oh, he is.
Brady's back. Guess who's back? Back again. I know. I was so happy. I was so excited. I remember to put into in context here. I cried when Brady. I'm a manly man, but I shed a tear going down the old face for the Brady.
I wouldn't shed any tears.
He's
happy either way, whatever he's doing. I've seen a lot of memes, though, that's for sure.
Some good ones.
Coming back after he's been home too long, but
yeah,
that's not true. He's got way too much other stuff he could be doing.
I heard
it's football.
Yeah, I heard the report he was tired of vacuuming in his room. Oh, it was so beautiful.
In his you know how many rooms he probably has?
Yeah. Oh, excuse me, his house.
I mean, you be getting
mansion.
That's iRobot. That's Roomba. You get a Roomba for every room, man. Screw that noise. Or just some maids, whatever.
Not sure I mentioned it. This is our 32 team breakdown.
Uh-oh.
I know. I have to jump off the Brady talk. We could go all day.
I know.
So let's jump into it. We're going to be talking all 32 teams.
Look at this
quick
guy.
breakdown.
Look at this guy telling me to slow down. Let's move on. Oh my gosh. I love it.
Keep it up. More.
Do this.
For the record, all our episodes, we always plan to have like a dream 20-minute episode. They turn into an hour plus every time. Every time.
Every podcast has that issue.
We just find something to talk about. All right, but we're gonna be flying through some of these teams. So if we fly by your favorite team, apologies, but we just didn't find it that interesting yet. First up, we're gonna be going through the AFC. The Buffalo Bills.
Yes.
We're pretty active here. I'll go through all the names they signed. J.D. McKissick, 2-year deal, $7 million with a max value of $8 million. Wide receiver Jake Kumaro re-signed. I don't know, really not big on him. Isaiah McKenzie re-signed, wasn't that big. Roger Saffold signed a 1-year deal.
Right?
Center Mitch Morse signed a 2-year, $19 million extension. Tim Settle defensive tackle, and cornerback Siren Neal resigned for a 3-year deal with a maximum value of $10.9 million. Which, it sounds like that's like a bargain. I mean, I'm not big on this corner, but like 3 years, $10.9 million, that's pretty cheap for a corner. But at the same time, I would love $10 million.
Yeah.
Now,
run around, tackle some guys, not get burnt, look bad.
So what with Buffalo really is standing out to you? I know it stands out to me, but what's standing out to you? Anything?
No, I don't. I mean, you mean out of the re-signings?
Out of all the signings here, yeah, I think
okay. I think to me the Mitch Morse is the biggest if he's their starter, right?
The center.
Yeah, I think that's big. That connection with quarterback.
Yeah.
With Allen, you got a little more connection than normal, than most positions, because of snaps and whatnot. But being on. And there's a lot of play calls. There's a lot of different. He's kind of the center. Isn't typically the center the quote unquote quarterback of the line, the offensive line.
In a lot of ways,
pointing stuff out and looking at different things and seeing different coverages. So I think that is a big thing that I see, because I'm a big. And this ain't new. I'm a big offensive line and defensive lineman guy. I love getting that shored up.
We love our big boys.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I think what really sticks out to me, and this is what raises questions, right? J.D. McKissick signs a 2-year, $7 million deal. Don't they have Devin Singletary on their team?
I believe so.
And they have another running back on their team that were pretty. The name eludes me, but
2 years, you're only talking $3.5 million. I mean, that's
still teams, interesting.
But listen, a lot of teams are going 2, 3 running back deep. The Browns are one of those prime examples of having that.
Not anymore.
Third guy show up.
Yeah, that's to me that's the one that sticks out to me, and it makes me wonder how secure Singletary is. He's shown flashes being good, but at the same time, he's never felt like that breakout guy like Zeke did early in his career. Not so much anymore, but moving on to the Miami Dolphins. Lots of
signing. Yes.
That's right. I'm going to jump through. I might skip the numbers here a bit, but Teddy Bridgewater, 1-year deal.
I like that sign.
But
you want to go through them all, and then we'll talk about them?
Yeah.
Go.
Running back Chase Edmonds, 3 to 2 year.
Mm-hmm.
Preston Williams, wide receiver, re-signed. Cedric Wilson signing a 3-year deal. Tight end Mike Gesicki was franchise tagged. I'm really big on this tight end. Connor Williams signed a 2-year, $14 million. I'm not getting into the details on the contracts on all these. Defensive end Emmanuel Ugba re-signed. Linebacker Duke Riley re-signing. Linebacker Lyndon Roberts re-signing. And that's I had to look. I had to scroll for a minute because there's a lot of people there. They've been pretty busy. A lot of money for them to spend. Interesting. You mentioned Teddy Bridgewater. You love that.
Yeah, I like that sign. I think he's a good quarterback. Is he the future? Maybe not. Yeah, right.
Tua.
Tua there.
They let go of a coach over Tua.
But we're looking at, this is a 1-year deal. This isn't a guarantee for him to even be starting.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a huge contract to give somebody as a backup quarterback. We've seen these before in the past. So that's if he is, right? It might be Tua, it might be Teddy. We don't know. But
it's Tua. I think Teddy's a career backup at this point in his career. He might have always been that, even, drafted to be that guy. But he seems to have always been that just career backup guy, and he's making career backup money. Like, I know we talk about guys like, he's just a backup QB, but there are career backup guys, and Teddy feels like that kind of guy where like if Tua gets hurt, Teddy could go in there and he's gonna play ball, he's gonna win you some games. He's just not a permanent starter. He's easy to figure out. He he's not flashy in any way, but he's an intelligent QB nonetheless. Chase Edmonds, though. That's an interesting one for me.
That's a good sign.
Yeah, but they already have that one young running back in Miami, so this is just
That's one though. Like I said, two running backs are pretty big.
I'm not big on any of these wide receivers, but this league has definitely turned into a weapons league for sure. I know this draft is deep at wide receiver, allegedly, per source.
You're not on Cedric
says
Wilson? Source says, yeah. I mean, Dallas lost two wide receivers. And Cedric Wilson and Cooper.
I will humbly admit that Cedric Wilson's never been on my radar. I'm not. I mean, he could be an amazing receiver. I just don't know.
Gotcha.
That's my ignorance. Moving on to the New England Patriots re-signing Brian Hoyer, career backup. We'll talk about that. James White re-signs. That's a career Patriot right there. James Ferretz re-signed, center, offensive guard. Mac Williams, linebacker, was acquired in a trade with the Cleveland.
Mac Wilson. Yeah.
Mac Wilson with the Browns in exchange for defensive end Chase, Michigan Wolverine.
Yeah. Chase Winovich.
I
think it's a good. That's a good. We'll keep going, but we'll talk about it.
Safety Devin McCourty resigned. Nick Folk resigned, and ST. What is ST?
Snap. Is that Snapper?
Matthew Slater resigned.
I can't remember.
Short
special teams.
Special teams. Yeah. Matthew Slater. Yeah, he is. Resigned for a $2.6 million fully guaranteed deal. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Fully guaranteed. That's nice.
Just to play special team. Just to play a couple snaps a game.
Yeah, I mean,
that's big money.
I really want to talk about the trade. That's the only thing that's really flashy to me. James White re-signing is interesting because he's a household name. We've heard him with Brady a lot. I think he's a good guy, but I guess I can't call him a good guy.
I got one more for you.
Give it to me.
Brian Hoyer. That's a big signing for Jones. Is it Mac Jones?
For his career, yes. I agree. Yeah.
That's a great mentor to have. Brian Hoyer played for the Browns. He played for many teams. But he's a great dude.
Played behind Brady for many years.
Yeah, that's a good signing, re-sign right there for sure.
I'll say it's great for Mac Jones's career.
Oh yeah.
The trade. Tell me about Mac Wilson. I know nothing about him.
He's been a backup. We got Jock. Owasakoa. I can't remember his full name. Jeremiah. And he became a backup. I think he got hurt at one time. And he just was a backup for us. So he's a good player. I think he has potential coming to this team and really becoming an impact on this team. We've seen the coaching staff and what they can do on the Patriots, of course, right?
He's gonna fit or he's not.
Yeah. And I think it's gonna be a good fit.
Now
the name is slipping me. We talked about him. He actually came to the Browns at one time, went back to there, played defense.
Talking about Jamie Collins?
Yes, Collins. I think he's
also played for the Lions.
A guy like him. Yep.
You think that's Chase Winovich? Or
no,
Mac Wilson.
You're gonna get a guy that's went away and came back, and he's gonna come into a system here that's pretty structured or really structured, and I think he's gonna make an impact on this team.
I'm curious on the Chase Winovich thing.
Well, we
for the Browns.
On the Browns.
We'll talk about him with the Browns. Moving on.
Let's keep going. We'll talk
the
about
New York Jets.
Jets.
Running back Tevin Coleman is back. Signs a 1-year deal. Wide receiver Braxton Burrett. I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name. Re-signed. CJ Uzama leaving. I believe that was Cincinnati.
Yeah.
That's a big move there.
You're right.
But these Jets need pieces, man. Offensively, I can't name anybody, man. It's terrifying.
They need way too many pieces.
Connor McDermott re-signing. Offensive tackle Lincoln Tomlinson played for the 49ers last year.
Ooh, he's a big contract.
He really, for the Lions, he was a big reach. They drafted him, I believe, 30th overall. People had 3rd-round grades on this guy. The Lions reached for him. Never really shined with the Lions, but I mean, now he's balling, but that seems to be like every
he
X line, man.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Kyle Van
You're a
Noy goes to the
farm team.
Patriots, man. Yeah, but fuck.
You're a farm team. That's how it is right now.
I have words that almost slipped out my mouth.
I'm just saying. The Browns were the farm team before, and now it's the Lions. So it's got to be passed down, and it finally has happened.
All right, I guess we're doing this. I'm just gonna name them. We'll do a brief thing about them, and then if there's any else that sticks, I'll talk about it. DJ Reed signs cornerback, 3-year deal. Jordan Whitehead agreed to a 2-year contract. I think that's a decent sized one. Lamarcus Joyner DB
Joyner is back.
Resigned. I think he's good. These Jets though,
They got a lot. They still got a long way to go.
There's a lot of question marks within the organization. Offensive pieces. We talked about their offense is really what's been hindering them. Like, you can't name a top guy, wide receiver wise. Like, there's not anybody who's like, that's the guy you got to stop. There might be guys that are like, all right, that's their playmaker, but he's not like, he's not an elite guy. He's not an X factor. And looking at their signings, I mean, none of these guys, even CJ Uzama, who I think is a good player, he's not an X factor. I think he benefited in Cincinnati because he had people were trying to stop Chase out there. Then you have Joe Burrow throwing you the ball. Joe Cool. Anything? You see anything else you want with the Jets?
No.
All right.
I'm done with that.
Real quick, Baltimore Ravens. Signed safety Lamarcus, excuse me, Marcus Williams. Signed a 5-year, $70 million. Big name here. Big guy off the board. Other than Tyrann Mathieu, this was like the biggest safety.
Yeah.
So that's a great move for them, but it'll be interesting to see what else they do. I still think they need better receiver help. I think Hollywood Brown out there, I think he reminds me too much of Des Bryant, where he's a one-trick pony. He can't run the routes, He can't call separation. So I think this team still has a lot of needs. They're not the Ravens of old where we think physicality and,
Right. Defense-wise, right?
Yeah, their defense has been very lackluster. Sadly has kept them in some games over this past year, but it's not the same Ravens I'm used to, at least. Now here's where things get really interesting. The Cincinnati Bengals signed a 4-year deal for Alex Kappa, offensive guard. He's an offensive lineman. Ted Karras signing a 3-year deal. Defensive tackle BJ Hill re-signed, and safety Jesse Bates received the franchise tag. We talked about this during the Super Bowl. Big boys were the problem. If we both talk about it, if they had a better offensive line, they beat the Rams.
Oh, 100%. That was their biggest issue throughout the entire season, and specifically in the playoffs. They got by a few games, even though he got sacked 9 times. It was crucial, and so they didn't mess around. They went right into it and got 2 guys that are going to help them out. And I'm sure they're not done.
Oh, I'm sure
they're not done with that.
And that's what's cool about this free agency. There's still huge names out there. Tyrann Mathieu, I cannot wait to see where he goes.
Von Miller.
Rumors of him everywhere. Yeah. The Cincinnati was. Now we get into.
Here we go, Brownies. Do
you want to go through them here?
Sure.
This is the Olduk special.
Yeah, let me bring it up here for you. We just traded for Amari Cooper, which, it was a good trade.
I think you guys robbed the Cowboys. Someone call the police because you guys
robbed them. Well, didn't you say there was an issue? Did you hear about the issue? Were you the one that told me about that?
Yes, Jerry Jones. Reports have come out that Jerry Jones was upset with Amari Cooper because he was unvaxxed, and that he missed some time for sickness. And then later throughout the season, or at the end of the season, he was seen at a basketball game without a mask, and this really upset Jerry. We've seen this with other players.
Right.
And that. Come on, man. I mean,
That's childish.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's.
what are you going to do the same thing for Aaron Rodgers if he was your quarterback? Would you do the same? Absolutely freaking not. Would you have done that?
This is why the decline of the Dallas Cowboys is incoming. We could go on. I could go on all about them. We'll get to them when we get to them.
Yep. Anyway, franchise tag David Njoku.
Which was that surprised the hell out of me. That's surprised. Worth a franchise tag though?
Oh, 100%. They just couldn't agree on a signing, and so I was like, they have to because they're probably gonna get rid of Cooper.
Njoku he's not a block. I love my tight ends to block. Njoku doesn't block.
And here's the other trade we were talking about with Chase Winovich. I think this is a great trade for us. Gives us another lineman that we need, with some questionables. With Clowney, not sure what he's going to be doing. I don't know if he is, a complete replacement for Clowney. I don't know much about Winovich. I've seen him play a little bit, but I don't know his details. I haven't looked into his details, about him. But he's got some long Goldilocks.
I love my Goldilocks players. My question with him is he a Patriot player? Where like we've seen Jamie Collins, Kyle Van Noy, players that go to the Patriot system, leave the Patriots, get paid somewhere else, go play somewhere else, but then they don't really stand out where they're at, or they stand out a little bit, but they're not what they were at their original team. And I'm curious to see if he is if he goes back to the Patriots, is he that kind of like his contract ends with the Browns don't re-sign him, and he goes back to the Patriots. The Patriots have, when you think a player's done like a Jamie Collins or Kyle Van Noy, you're like, hey, going back. They just their tail goes between their legs and they walk right back in the door.
We also signed Taven Bryan. He was last year was on Jacksonville Jaguars team. Don't know a whole lot about him either. Didn't look like he did too awful lot the last year, but we'll look into his stats some more and see. But it's definitely not another replacement. It's just another guy that we need on that D line that we need to keep shoring up. So overall, not too bad. I'd like to see some more wide receivers for them.
For sure.
Maybe another good slot. I keep seeing a lot of fake things out there.
Yeah, I know.
Robinson would be great.
You keep sending me some stuff, and I'm like, did you just Ian Rappaport me? Like, calm down, man. Like, get your friend. Check how many sources do you have?
I got lots. Anyway, let's go.
All right. Next up, Pittsburgh Steelers. Dwayne Haskins received original round restricted free agency tender.
Good pick. I like this guy.
Next up, they picked up Mitchell Trubisky. Mind you, the Browns traded up one pick and traded a house to move up that one pick to get Mitchell Trubisky, who they later dumped.
The Browns did not. The
Bills.
Yeah, they traded. Yeah.
The Bills also signed Mitchell Trubisky. They were really hype on him.
Yeah. They don't need him.
They don't. Well, they don't. They didn't want him, and they knew the price tag. He knew he was going to be getting paid somewhere, and goes to Pittsburgh, get a chance to be the starter.
This is a great pickup by Pittsburgh. As much as I despise that team, this is a great pickup by them. I think it's gonna push Haskins. There's gonna be a quarterback battle. It really is. It might look like Mitchell's gonna be the guy, but I think Dwayne's gonna really push him, and we'll see what happens. But this is a great pickup for them. This goes back to Mike Tomlin, man. Just good stuff right here.
Next up, we have offensive tackle Chuck Woma Okorofo. I butchered that name, I'm sure.
Good job.
Did I get it right?
I mean, you're okay. Chuck Woma. Okorofo. Roquefort.
Offensive guard James Daniels. Linebacker Robert Spillane. Quarterback Arthur Moulette.
Well, it's
Resigned,
right? Mullet.
I want to say Moulette or Mollett.
Mullet.
And safety Miles Kilbrew re-signed. Miles Kilbrew was a former line. He's a beast. He can hit. Just never really that like all-time starter guy. I think he's getting to be a savvy veteran out there, but again, not an X factor. But I think he's a great starter,
Yeah,
great player.
Pittsburgh's biggest concern is quarterback. You know,
oh, for sure.
With Big Ben retiring, it's
Go
a
ahead.
big change for this team. They haven't been without Big Ben. How long did he play for? 18 years?
Something like that, yeah.
19 years? It was a long time, right?
I'm curious to see Mike Tomlin's never had a losing season.
Yeah.
This is his biggest test to date.
Mm-hmm.
I think this team needs running back and wide receiver help for sure. I know they had injuries last year, but you're losing Juju, another free agent we haven't seen come off the board yet. But yeah, I mean, I think they have a lot of holes, even though they did address probably their biggest one with Mitchell Trubisky at quarterback. Next up for a rap sheet, a mile long.
Oh, yeah.
The Houston Texans re-signed Jeff Driscoll. Chris Conley re-signed a one-year deal. Tight end Pharaoh Brown agreed to a one-year deal. Cedric. Oh, man, you're going to have to tell me with this one.
Agbui
signed a one-year deal. Offensive lineman Justin Britt. Offensive lineman A.J. Kane.
Mm-hmm.
Both agreed to terms. Offensive tackle Malik Collins re-signed. Mm-hmm. Linebacker Christian Kirksey re-signed a 2-year deal. Ogbu. Oh, dude, you're going to have to tell me this one, too. Okoronkwo?
Ogbo.
Oranku agreed to terms with the contract. Safety Terrence Brooks re-signed. MJ Stewart signed a deal. And Desmond King, DB, signed a 2-year deal. I like Desmond King a lot myself personally. That's a lot of players that I don't know a lot about.
Right. The biggest one maybe Chris Conley. And the questionable quarterback. We don't know what's going to happen with that yet. We still got a lot of
Deshaun Watson
stuff going on with that. Deshaun Watson.
He's not playing there. He's not. He's out the door, leaving.
There's a lot of questions of where he's going to go. Who are they trading? So they're going to trade for a quarterback. They're going to get a quarterback back.
Let's discuss some of the rumors. This is who we talk about. All right, so we have the one that I think makes the most sense. The more I dig into it, it makes the most sense. And that's the Cleveland Browns. Because the Cleveland Browns would trade Baker and picks for Deshaun Watson. Baker is familiar with the Houston area. Cleveland is very interested. He would also be able to go in there, fit nicely in there. I think that's the best fit. But the teams that are, that are the loudest right now is pretty much the entire, AFC or NFC South?
Mm-hmm.
Which is hold on, I want to report this correctly. NFC South, yes. The Atlanta Falcons, who have been reported to throw their hat in because the Carolina Panthers and Saints have been full bore interested.
Yep.
And it sounds like Atlanta's kind of either just trying to drive the price up or they're actually interested.
And they shot down the Colts.
Oh, which is amazing.
I mean, like
the Colts is, hey, you want to send it to us?
We're not gonna get our butts whipped.
Yeah, like nope. We not in division and not happening.
Yeah, and I think we need to point out the obvious. We don't condone anything that he's done or has been a part of. We don't understand his personal life, what's going on, what he's gone through, and what these other women have gone through, and nobody knows the truth from what it sounds like.
I as a person, I am a firm believer in you are innocent until proven guilty in my eyes. Mm-hmm. I think we take allegations very seriously, but we also cannot destroy people's careers over lives over allegations.
Right.
I'm a big advocate for truth. Where if these things happened, I want the truth to come out, and I want severe punishments. If not true, I think these allegations should be punished as well.
Yep.
If they're found it to be false or with extreme what's the word, like blackmail in a way, I definitely think there should be severe punishments for those. But I just want the truth, as I think most of us will admit. But moving on to the Indianapolis Colts. Tight end Mo Ali Cox. It's just such a wrong name, but at the same time, it's so great. Re-signed a 3-year deal. Offensive tackle Matt Breyer is expected to resign, and quarterback Brendan Fantizon agreed to a 1-year deal. You ready, Duck? You ready for my hot take?
Sure.
This is gonna be a below 500 team next year.
Well, yeah. I think a lot of people take that hot take. I don't know what they're doing. We haven't seen anything with quarterback.
We haven't seen anything with quarterback, and I think this is a front office problem. With what's come out about Carson Wentz, I think this is a front office problem, and
Right.
I think it's the same thing. I'm gonna go on a major rant when we get to Dallas Cowboys here. This might be my Seattle Seahawks pick of next year. I think Dallas is actually going to be my Seattle Seahawks pick of next year, but they're in contention. Yeah, get it ready, because I'm almost willing to take it now, but the problem is you play the Giants, and I the Giants are so bad. Those are 2 free games. Like Seattle for me was easy because you had the Rams with Stafford. I was already high on Arizona, so it's like it was easy. It was an easy pick. Oh, it is the nighttime kisses over here. But yeah, going on to Indianapolis, they're just not my favorite.
Yeah, sorry. Little good nights.
Oh, you got. That's why we are the dad show. That's what we do, baby. You love to see it.
Right at bedtime,
Kudos to all the dads out there.
Yes, absolutely.
We are proud daddies ourselves, so kids come first, even in showtime. All right. Next up is the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is the team that has we talked about how much money they had. They have been throwing, slinging the money. Dropping the benches.
Right, they're just like boom, 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 boom. Let's do this. They're not messing around. They've made a lot of changes.
They need offensive help, and let me tell you what, they got some offensive help. I talked about Christian Kirk on our free agency show. That I'm interested in where he goes. He's buried in that depth chart. Yeah, I think he's talented. I don't know about X Factor. He got paid like an X Factor, baby.
Breakout with this guy, yeah.
Definitely. Zay Jones, interesting signing there as well. Paid him like a pretty good guy as well. But Evan Ingram, who I think is a great tight end, but he just can't stay healthy. He basically got paid the franchise tag here.
Yeah, this could be a big one for him. If he can stay healthy this year, we can see him breaking out.
Also big, Cam Robinson got franchise tag. Definitely needed him. But Brandon Sheriff.
Yes.
Big, savvy vet. Very good offensive player. Offensive lineman Tyler Shatley re-signed. Defensive tackle Folly Fatukisi signing a 3-year deal.
I don't even like helping you. I love hearing. I want to hear this next one.
Oh man. Linebacker Foey Alui Cone signing a 3-year deal.
Alukin.
I don't know. I'm sorry if I butchered it. I'm really sorry. You make millions of dollars. I sit in a basement with a talk show. It's what happens. I wish I had someone on my team who could just read the names of me ahead of time. I don't have it yet. But Jacksonville, great offensive line additions. I want to say great wide receiver additions, but for the money you paid, it's going to catch up. He better. Oh,
better show up. The boy got some dough right there.
Questions. Speaking of questions, the Tennessee Titans have committed to Ryan Tannehill. George Swaim agreed to a 1-year deal. Tight end.
One more time. George.
Geoff. Jeff. If you spell your name Jeff like that, you deserve for me to butcher it.
Whoa. My brother's name's like that.
I do not take it back. I said what I said.
His name's Jeffrey, but everybody calls him Jeff. I call him Jeffrey still, you know.
If it's Jeffrey, that's different. But
that's how it is.
That is Goff.
When he was a kid, he probably had Jeffrey, and then he took off the REY. You know what I mean?
He deserves it. Next, center, Ben Jones re-signed. Linebacker, Harold Landry re-signed. Long snapper, Morgan Cox agreed to a 1-year extension. Nothing flashy here yet. The tight end, it's a 1-year deal. He's not been a flashy guy out there. Might fit fine, who knows? But this is just meh. Nothing to look at here.
Signing by them. It's only $100,000 guaranteed on that contract, so it's all, you know. He's got to be playing.
Yeah. Nothing flashy here.
No.
Denver Broncos. Talk about flash, baby. They are the. They are.
That's what I'm talking about.
They are the husband stealers. Okay. They are out here stealing players from teams. The home wreckers. About to start calling them the Denver home wreckers, baby.
Yeah. Oh, go through it. I got that one to talk about. I couldn't believe it. I was like, what?
Russell Wilson was acquired from the Seattle Seahawks. They shipped Drew Lock, Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, 2 second-rounders, 2 firsts, and a 5th.
Russell Wilson was stolen by the Denver
highway
Broncos.
Robbery.
Okay.
I will say this. I think Seattle Seattle wanted to move on from him, and seeing how you wanted to move on, they got a king's ransom for him. I said it like the Stafford deal. We got a king's ransom. They have their rebuild picks now. But Seattle wants to sit here and play these games where they're like, no. We're not rebuilding. We're not.
Yeah.
You're in rebuild mode. Sorry to tell you that.
Been rebuilding for a long time there.
Now here's the Brady effect. Russell Wilson goes to Denver. There's other people who want to go to Denver now. Calvin Anderson re-signs. Randy Gregory. Home wrecker. The Denver home wreckers. Randy had an agreement with the Dallas Cowboys and then said
he signed with the Cowboys. And then all of a sudden I read it and someone says no, he went with Denver. What? I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
He agreed to terms with Dallas, and then Denver home wreckers came over and swooped him off his feet. And according to source, it's the same exact contract he was offered in Dallas.
Yeah.
DJ Jones, defensive tackle, agreed to a 3-year deal. Linebacker Josie Jewell agreed to a 2-year deal. I mean, nothing stands out more than that Randy Gregory. Mind you, this team doesn't have the greatest of cap space at this time anymore because of the Russell deal here, absorbing most of his contract. But this team's going to be, this division.
Right. It's going to be a spicy one.
We haven't even got to the Chargers yet, but we will get here. This is just the start of it. Next, we have the Kansas City Chiefs. Orlando Brown, offensive tackle, receives franchise tag. They lost like every offensive tackle, by the way. DN Frank Clark signed a 2-year deal. I believe he played for the Green Bay Packers. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. But I think that's a decent signing. Justin Reed, safety, signed a 3-year deal. Justin Reed is good, but is he Tyrann Mathieu? No, not at all. I think those are big shoes to fill.
Frank Clark's been in Kansas City,
Has he?
and he was at Seahawks prior to that in 2018.
I think I have the wrong Frank.
Yeah,
Definitely
Okay.
probably have the wrong Frank. But Justin Reed, he's not Tyrann Mathieu, right?
no.
Not the Honey Badger?
No.
I'm ready. I don't think this is going to be the worst team in this division, but I'm not willing to put them first or second. You heard that right. Is Kansas City
first
going to
or
be by
second.
Seattle next year?
Oh, come on now. You ain't that crazy. Please tell me you ain't that crazy.
Yeah, I might. Mahomes' contract stacking up, baby. Their offensive line's gone.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we see what Cincinnati can do with no offensive line. Different. Cincinnati had defense.
Right.
Las Vegas Raiders. Max Crosby signed a 4-year deal. I think that's a huge signing.
Hey. Yeah.
That's a big deal. That's big money,
Boy
big
got
bucks.
paid.
Los Angeles Chargers. This is woo baby. Mike Williams re-signed, 3-year deal. Austin Johnson expected to sign with them, defensive tackle. Defensive lineman Sebastian Joseph Day expected to sign a 3-year deal. Khalil Mack was acquired in a trade with the Bears for a second-round pick and a 6th. Hello. Now, the reason why that's for people who are that's it. It's because the Chargers absorbed every bit of his salary. His $22 million a year. They absorbed all of it. The Bears wanted to move on because of salary issues, so they should be happy they got a second. Right. Cornerback J.C. Jackson, good corner, signed a 5-year deal. This team is loading up, so this is going to be very interesting. Like I said, this division. Whew. Hello. What you think about this division, big boy?
Yes, sir. It's going to be a tough one.
Give it to me.
It's going to be a lot of battles. I think they're going to see. I don't know, man. Who?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and say.
I mean,
Casey's
I'm
my
gonna tell
Seattle,
you.
baby.
I'll tell you the order. I'll tell you order who I think's going to be where it's going to be. Denver's going to be on top. I think Russell Wilson puts them on top. Kansas City's second. I can't knock them yet. I got Chargers third, and then Raiders fourth.
I think that's a fair assessment as well. It might be where I would sit.
Close. I'm not talking 5-6 games behind. I'm talking I'm just unsure of the Raiders and what they can do. The Chargers are stepping up. We're seeing Herbert doing really good and coming back.
I feel the Raiders are in that decline right now.
Yeah, I'm just not sure. I'm not sure what, we're seeing one signing. That doesn't mean anything. Not some teams don't do anything or don't do a lot or have their team already set for this year. I think we're going to see a real close race for the top spot, 1, 2, and 3. But I think we're going to be, we might see 2, maybe 3 of these teams in the playoff contention.
I could say I feel the same. Going into the NFC, starting with the NFC East and the declining Dallas Cowboys. Re-signed Michael Gallup. Dalton Schultz received a franchise tag. Defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence agreed to a 3-year extension. Malik Hooker's re-signing, and Jake long snapper McQuaid. I should say whatever. I apologize.
Whatever your name is.
If you look at this is just like retaining players. There's nothing new here. And you want to tell me you lose Amari Cooper, who, when you look at the stats of Dak playing with and without Amari, is night and day. And then you want to tell me this team, who hasn't added really any new pieces, is going to be better?
They lost two of their good wide receivers too with Cedric Wilson. So
this team is just, I'm willing to say it. I'm going to say it now.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
The Cowboys will be below 500.
Oh,
First take.
Oh, we just hit the first team. Oh, are you in this division?
Yeah. I just scrolled through this division. I think it will be.
Do you need to re-scroll again?
Yes, no,
One
I don't.
more time?
No.
Oh
Because
my
I
God.
believe, and I say this every year, divisional games, every team can win. Jacksonville Jaguars knocked the Indianapolis Colts out of the playoffs. Come on.
But this
The Giants
this
can win and
division
beat Dallas.
has been garbage for a long time.
So what you're saying is it's an easy take that the Dallas Cowboys will be below 500.
No, because the Dallas has always been on top of this.
Because they've had, just relatively competent play for years.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll go next up, New York Giants. QB Tyrod Taylor is
Whoa.
expected to sign a 2-year deal. Yeah, go ahead. We got Tyrod in the house.
Okay.
Offensive line, John Feliciano signing.
Feliciano, come on. What's wrong with
Feliciano.
you?
Mark
Yeah.
Glowinski agreed to a 3-year deal. Both offensive linemen. They need that for sure. But QB, I mean, this team they're the New York
Not gonna
injuries.
make him any better.
They're the New York injuries, all right? Daniel Jones is a really athletic quarterback. I think Tyrod Taylor's going to fit in nicely there. If this team can have Saquon stay healthy, big if. If, Kenny Galladay could stay healthy, big if. If Daniel Jones could stay healthy, big if. I think they could do all right. I don't think this team's going to be great by any means. They also haven't had any flashy signings, and I'm like, that's the one. I think Tyrod Taylor ups them as he is their backup, but I think he ups them a game or two through the season. Next up, the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm really not sold on this team at all. A matter of fact, this might be my most hated team. And you wouldn't know it. Greg Ward agreed to a 1-year contract. Center Jason Kelsey. This is a huge signing a 1-year contract. Hassan Reddick signing a 3-year deal. And DB Andre, help me out, Duck, signed a 1-year deal.
That's a hard one. Chachir, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
The best I can do on that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, what do you feel about Philly here?
I don't know. I'm not sold on them.
I mean, they didn't have that bad of a year.
They did better than I thought last year.
Their defense was good, and Hassan Reddick's going to make it better.
I mean, within this division, I give them a chance. I give almost any of these teams a chance, really, except for New York Giants. I mean, the Giants.
Oh, you want to know who's winning this division? It's our next team.
I know who's winning this division. Yeah,
it's our next team, and
I'm right there with
Washington Commanders.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, they signed DB Bobby McCain, re-signed him to a 2-year deal. But the big acquisition is they acquired Carson Wentz in exchange for a 3rd-rounder, 2 3rd-rounders, which can convert to 2nd-rounders based on his snap total. I like Carson. He had some moments last year where he did not flash at all. But this team, I'm ready. They were a QB away. This team looked great. Don't forget, didn't they beat Brady?
Yeah. Yeah, this team's got a good defense too. With adding a good quarterback to it. If he can keep healthy, like we said, it's like we have this on repeat with players. If they can stay healthy, if they can be healthy, be consistent. I think this is a good pick. This is Carson Wentz has a great opportunity to really renew his fire because he's going to be playing against Philly. Yeah. 2 games at least.
He plays Philly and he will play against
play Colts
the Colts this year.
Ooh. So we can see him come.
I can't wait. Yeah. And mind you, he has receivers
Mm-hmm.
So this is going to be in a young running back. No. Professional. Next up, Chicago Bears. Larry, defensive tackle. Help me out.
Ogunjobi. Ogunjobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. So he's signing a 3-year deal with the Bears. I'm not sold on the Bears. They got rebuild mode. Selling the house.
He's injured though, so he's still going through rehab.
Oh God.
He comes from Cincinnati. So he's the one that got injured in the playoffs. Played for the Browns as well before. Good defensive tackle. I think he was going to be good if he gets back, if he can stay healthy.
Next up are my Detroit Lions.
Ooh. Oh, look at this.
One pride, baby.
Oh my gosh.
Tim Boyle signing a 1-year deal. They love this guy as their backup. I don't get it, but at the same time, we need QB help everywhere. I mean, I'll take hey, Steve, you want to try out for the team? Here's the big one for me. Okay, they signed 3 wide receivers. DJ Chark, who had flashes with the Jaguars, signing a 1-year deal. Mind you, we signed a bunch of players last year for 1-year deals at receiver.
Hey, I don't mean to interrupt, but can you take it for a minute?
I got it.
We got a little dad moment.
Oh, dad time, baby. All right, but next up, wide receiver Khalif Raymond re-signed with the Lions. Had some great flashes at the end of the year. I am ready for this guy. I like him a lot. Josh Reynolds re-signed a 2-year deal. This was a big deal when the Lions did trade for him. And we haven't got to see everything he could give. This wide receiver room is starting to look like an actual receiver room with Ahmad St. Brown, DJ Chark, Josh Reynolds, and Khalif Raymond. This looks better. These are receivers I could start to appreciate. Josh Reynolds actually getting to have a full year with the team. I like. Center, Evan Brown re-signed a 1-year deal. Not the biggest name here, but Charles Harris re-signed a 2-year deal. That's a big name. He played well for the Lions, but my favorite guy, linebacker Alex Anzalone, re-signed a 1-year deal. I love this guy. He's a Lion to me. Just looks fantastic as well with the Goldilocks dreads. Safety, Tracy Walker, cornerstone in the backfield for us. Good re-sign. DB CJ Moore re-signed a 1-year deal. The team sees some in him. I don't. But you know what? I'll take it. Other than that, I mean, the wide receivers here are where everything is at. Adding that depth, I feel very good about it. Baby, I'm excited for Lions football. Moving on to my, fastly growing on me, Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers signed that extension that was not a 4-year, $200 million deal, but a 3-year deal. That's technically 5 for $150 million. A lot of that backs it's the new deal dry. His 2022 cap hit is only $18 million. Frees up a ton of money for the Green Bay Packers, along with extending linebacker Preston Smith, dropping more money off for them. Devonte Adams has received a franchise tag, but said he will not play under the tag. I do believe, freeing up this money, they will sign him to a long-term deal. How much it is, that might be a thing, and if they can work it out. Wide receiver Allen Lazard, he received a 2nd-round restricted free agent tender. I think he'll stay with the team. Him and Rodgers have a connection, personal connection. I think he's going to stay. Devondre Campbell signs a 5-year deal. And Preston Smith, as I just mentioned, signed a 4-year extension, which freed up more money. This team looks great. I still think they need another wide receiver piece to this team. They just probably don't have the money. Next, we have the Minnesota Vikings. QB Kirk Cousins signed a 1-year deal. Defensive lineman Harrison Phillips signed a 3-year. Linebacker Jordan Hicks agreed to 2-year deal. The Minnesota Vikings, not really sold on this team. Welcome back, Duck.
Yes, thank you.
We are on the Minnesota Vikings at the moment.
Okay, all right.
Breeze by the Green Bay Packers, but Kirk Cousins, are you sold on him?
No.
I feel the same. There's been talks of them trading him, but I think them extending him for a 1-year deal, fully guaranteed, $35 million. I think they just want to make it work. This is great news for Justin Jefferson. Him and Justin have a great rapport. I think Kirk Cousins gets a bad rep. I think he's a very serviceable QB, but I think the rest of this team's not that great.
We got a new coach too, and we'll see. This is a local team for me, and I hear a lot of talk about him. I love Kirk Cousins as an individual, as a person, as a human being. He's an amazing guy. Does a lot for the community. Does a lot for who he is and what for the team in general. But I think a lot of it goes down to your offensive line again. I mean, there's been some holes there that they weren't able to fill, and hopefully they can fix some of the things there and get this team back. I think they have a chance to get back in the playoffs. But it's going to be a tough road. There's a lot of updates and some other teams. This division's still not really, it's Green Bay, Viking heavy, I think. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, it's Green Bay, the Vikings, how fast they could survive.
Yeah.
And then the Bears and the Lions fighting it out for third. And if either of them go above that, we're like, whoa, timeout.
Right. So we'll see.
Next up, we have the NFC South. Nothing really. I mean, Jake Matthews agreed to a 3-year extension. Offensive tackle. Kicker.
Young Hoku.
Thank you.
This is awesome. 5-year, $24 million contract. That's big for a
kicker.
11.5 is guaranteed. That's big. We don't see those big contracts for kickers like that. Very rare do we see those.
Jeez, man. Gee, that punter is going to get that kind of money.
Mm-hmm.
You know which one I'm talking about in the draft. This is a big nothing burger for me for the Atlanta Falcons. Carolina Panthers. Here's where things get interesting for me. Deontay Foreman is expected to sign a contract with the Panthers. I've heard reports from sources that Christian McCaffrey's on the block. Offensive guard Austin Corpet expected to sign a 3-year deal. DN Marquise Haynes agreed to a 2-year deal. Safety Sean Chandler re-signed. Xavier Woods signed a 3-year deal. That's great for their backfield. And kicker Kane Gonzalez agreed to a 2-year deal. I make a decent amount by this running back signing. Am I overlooking it?
No, I think it's. I think you're right on point on that. I don't know if McCaffrey's going to stay there. Kind of see what happens with that. I'm kind of surprised. I'm not surprised by it, but I'm kind of excited to see where he goes. And see what kind of fit he has on another team.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's signs are pointing like it might be true.
Right.
Moving on to the New Orleans Saints. Nothing. Cap space.
Next.
Cap space.
Yeah, not much they can
Tampa
do right
Bay Bucks. Brady's back. Back again.
Back again.
Ooh, baby. I think center Ryan Jensen totally came back for this. He re-signed a 3-year deal. Brady is happy. He's got a center back. Offensive guard Shaq Mason acquired in a trade.
Did he play with Shaq Mason?
In New England, yes.
In New England?
I do believe so, yes.
That could be
probably another one.
7 years experience, yeah.
Offensive guard.
That could be a good thing.
Aaron Stinney re-signed. Wide receiver Chris Godwin received the franchise tag again.
Ooh.
And then
Okay.
Russell Cage is expected to sign with Tampa Bay. This kid's got talent. There's a lot of I've been hearing a lot of people up talk him a bit. Never
Mhm.
really caught my radar, but I mean I'm listening to the people talk. They're saying
Yeah,
he's got to be a number 3 at this
he had
point.
some big games. Had a 126-yard, 130-yard game.
We're asking him to
Couple
be a number
touchdowns.
3. Can he be a
Mhm.
number 3? He's got to be a
Oh,
good number 3 if we're talking this much about him.
100%, 100%.
Cornerback Charlton Davis re-signed. And that's really it for Tampa Bay, other than just Brady's back. I
Well,
expect them to sign Gronk as well.
Yeah, Ryan. I don't know if you said Ryan Jensen.
I did. He came, but
Resigned,
yeah.
so that's big. I mean, they filled the holes that they got rid of. So, or at least one of them with Shaq.
I expect Gronk to come back, and the bigger question is, does Leonard Fournette come back? That money issue is going to be tight for them. And a lot of people are reporting that's why Brady wanted out, because he saw the cap closing. Brady's always been a very cap-friendly player. I'm going to let you take over for the Arizona Cardinals, and I'll be right back.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I like this. I like this signing. I'm going to kind of go through him a little bit and talk about him. Colt McCoy. I love this dude from Texas. Played for the Browns, of course. I mean, what quarterback hasn't, right? We have so many that have played for us. Jared Goff. Yeah, I'm glad we haven't. We don't need that kind of contract for somebody like a Colt McCoy player. But he did sign a pretty hefty contract. It doesn't say here, but I think he got $7-8 million a year for 2 years, or maybe even more than that. James Conner, running back, agreed to a 3-year, $21 million extension. Includes $16 million over the first 2 years, which is pretty nice.
They moved on from Chase Edmonds, by the way.
Did they? Okay.
So this says they're all in on James Conner, in my opinion.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's a big signing for him for 3 year. Zach Ertz is re-signed for a 3-year, $31 million contract, which is good. I think that's a great re-signing for them. Having a sound, a good tight end as Zach Ertz.
I like Zach Ertz a lot.
Defensive end Michael Dogby re-signed a 1-year contract.
Bro, that's Dogby. Come on, man. That's Dogby.
You like that? I did it on purpose.
I don't know. I'm just giving you crap.
Could be Dogby.
It's Dogby. It's Dogby, man.
The English language is such a hot mess. It could mean anything. It could be Catbee. It just spelled dog with a dog. Who knows?
All right,
linebacker Dennis Gardeck re-signed on a 3-year contract as well.
All right. Hey, the biggest one for me is the James Conner one. All right. Next up is Los Angeles Rams. Do you want to just go through the rest of these?
I don't mind.
Let's go for it.
There's only a few left. Rams re-signing Joe Noteboom to a 3-year contract.
Big deal because I lost Whitworth.
Yeah, that's right. And then re-signing Brian Allen, their center, to a 3-year deal. So they're shoring up their offensive line. That's what they needed to be doing right now. I think that was big for LA.
OBJ expected to re-sign.
Yeah. Well, they're still.
Von Miller was all talking running back, but where's he at?
Right. We haven't seen any of that yet. Unless it's happened, during this time, right? San Fran signed a Jermichael Hasty to a 1-year extension. And then cornerback Charvarius Ward agreed to terms on a 3-year, $40.5 million deal.
I like Ward. Ward's pretty good.
He comes, Kansas City. They're losing quite a few people over there, aren't they?
Yeah, that's. Did I say below 500? I might have mentioned it.
Here's your below 500 team that you had for this last year. And let's see what they're doing. They ended up getting Drew Lock, like we talked about.
Oh, this team's going to be a below 500 team next year again, so for sure.
Picks. I don't know. We'll see. Quarterback is definitely their. Drew Lock's not their guy, right? So they're going to be looking at first round picks on that.
Seattle's head coach has a history of this, where he gets a team. He's to me he's a motivational guy. He's not a team builder. Where he gets a team, they motivate them, they do great, but then when it comes time to team build, the teams go in decline mode. I think ownership gives him way too much reins on who they sign, who they draft.
Right.
And it comes out in shows when they take certain players. And I don't feel this team anymore.
Right. I don't know. Well, I mean, let's see what they do. There's still a long ways to go with. I think QB is going to be it's definitely a huge hit for them. Losing Russell. They had signed 2 tight ends with Will Dissly re-signing on a 3-year deal.
Will Disley.
And then Noah Fant came over in that trade from the Denver Broncos.
How upset
I like
did
Noah Fant. That's a good.
How
that's a good pick.
upset are you if you're Noah Fant?
Oh, that would suck.
We got Russell. We got Russell.
He got traded. What?
Noah, you're on your way to Seattle, buddy. What?
You're on that. Yeah, you're on that.
Can you imagine being these players, being Drew Lock, Noah Fant, and Shelby Harris, where you show up to Seattle,
right?
Like, yeah, we're the guys.
Yeah.
You got rid of your Hall of Fame QB for us.
Also in that trade was defensive tackle Shelby Harris. Another defensive tackle they signed, re-signing was Al Woods to a 2-year, $9 million contract. Cornerback Sidney Jones re-signing on a 1-year, $3.6 million.
Ooh, this
and
next
then,
one.
Safety Quandre Diggs agreed to a 3-year, $40 million.
Former Lion, he's really developed his career in Seattle. I will say this, Pete Carroll, their defense really does, develop back end guys, corners, safeties. They really do tend to get them, develop them well. Quandre Diggs wasn't, this big guy over in Detroit, but he was a guy we did not want to lose. We really liked him. Goes to Seattle, he just lights out, baby. He getting paid like a 2-3-year, $40 million deal. That's big money for a safety.
Oh yeah.
I'm very happy for him. I wish he was with us, but there was rumors that he might come back to Detroit. It would have been very nice.
Right.
But man, some good names going out the board here. But with that said, that wraps up our free agency recap for the week. Today's Tuesday.
Here's one thing to leave you with too. Von Miller to the Cowboys? Question mark. Dallas is doing due diligence on a star free agent pass rusher. So who knows? We'll see. After they lost Randy Gregory.
Hear me out. I think Von Miller has a lot left in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he needs to go to a team.
Is he going for the Super Bowls?
Yeah, I was going to say, if he's going to Dallas, he's going for the money because he's not going for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
There's just too many. I mean, going to the Rams is such a good fit for a lot of those players. Like Von Miller fits so well because he's not asked to be the guy. He's not asked to be even like the he goes in there and he just could, he's getting one-on-one. He did great. It's the same with OBJ, who's still on the board out there. He fits so nicely with the Rams. Not asked to be the number one. And OBJ is the number two. Give me a break. Give me a break. OBJ was starting to play like a number one. With that said, that wraps up our free agency recap. Many more days to come. Next week we'll have more names off this board. We'll have more clarity on how the draft is going to look. So I'm excited for that. But with that said, thank you, Duck, for being here with me.
Sure.
You really are I'm the talker, I'm the mouth of the show, but you are the embodiment of it physically. You are the peak of the dad bods.
Peak? Oh, well, no. Yeah, the peak is right. I mean, you don't want to get any higher than that.
Good night, everybody. We will see you next week. Thank you again. Have a great one.